What's up guys, Joe, how's it going? Alright, so this is like a question I got from a follower, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to like send me an email or just leave me a comment in my videos, and I'll be more than happy to respond to you and let you know what I know. I think this comment was from Juan Caro. He asked me how do I organize my project files, right? If there's a structure to it, and I think this gets brought up often a lot, just like how it gets, how do I organize my project files, right? Definitely organization is key. You don't want to try to shove everything on your desktop because it's gonna become a fucking mess, right? Don't do that. You know, if you do that, I'm sure there's organized chaos in your head that you can understand, right? But I think it's good to get into practice to start organizing and properly naming your files, right? That way when you work with someone that doesn't understand your chaotic mind, then it's easy to explain to them what's going on, how things work, the structure, right? Organization is a form of language, I think, when you're working with someone. So this is how things are done, this is how I like things to be done, this and that. And also it goes the other way around. So Paul has his way of structuring his files, naming them, so I learned how to do that. And also the way how I create my project files when I deliver it, the projects towards him. It's a way that we both understand how things are done. That way when something's out of order, he can contact me and be like, hey, something's missing, so I know what to look for when something's missing, and then we can solve the problem in case the files get lost or something, right? So that being said, probably the first thing you want to do when you want to organize your files is simply that you want to have a lot of SSDs, right? You want to have multiple SSDs. And currently, from my understanding, storage devices are becoming cheaper. So if you're not able to connect multiple storage devices, SSDs into your computer, you can get something like this that's via USB, and then you can connect mechanical hard drives. You even connect an SSD to it. Instead of the giant mechanical hard drives, you can do that. You have the different sizes and all that. So yeah. I definitely would suggest you guys to get something like this, to connect to your computers, right? Some storage devices. Like I said, you are able to connect, a mechanical hard drive and a standard SSD into these things, right? So they work well, right? The only thing is that they do require power, so you probably need another outlet to connect these things, right? But these are helpful. And one more thing, say if you don't have any USBs for whatever reason, but you still have some PCIe connections onto your computer. Say you usually just have the GPU connected, right? But you have an extra PCIe lane that you're able to connect something towards. You can probably get something like this. It's a docking station for M.2s, right? This one you connect 4 of them, right? So and then transfer the information via the PCIe lane. So you can get something like this, which I'm gonna use this guy with. I'm gonna max that out, and then we'll have more storage devices, because me personally, I like using storage for everything. So there are options, but obviously look into your computer and make sure it's compatible. Now I already made videos talking about my devices. I have one SSD for the cache files, I have one SSD for the project files, I have one SSD for all the stock footage I use, I have one for the proxies, I have one for backups, I have one for my personal pictures. Just everything is structured in a certain way, right? Each SSD is different, right? And as you can see, these things can add up big time, right? So if you were to have one storage device and you dump everything in there, it's not gonna last for shit, space-wise, right? It is gonna eat up your storage big time. So yeah, you do want to get into the habit of starting investing into storage devices, right? So definitely look into that. So I got one SSD, which says project files, and this one's strictly for Paul stuff, right? And I got another SSD that this one is basically my stuff, right? Now for Paul's SSD that I have dedicated for him, I got other bullshit here, but the main one is I have the main template here, which is every time I open a project file, this is the project folder that opens up first before I start editing. It has all my settings and assets and so on and so forth already ready, good to go, saved into these project files, right? This is Paul's project file. As you can see here, this is just all his stuff, whether it's a build or tech news or whatever, right? So usually this is the recent one that I just delivered, and as you can see, this is just all the shit that I used, that I got off the internet before I delivered towards Paul, hit the asset files. I put everything in here that I used for his video for tech news, along with the project file, which is this guy. So keep everything in one project folder as I'm editing. That way when I deliver this project file, everything is in this one folder. So I just copy and paste it into our sync file system that we have set up. So when he opens it, everything should be good to go. It's already linked up because it all shares the same folder, right? The structure. So the project file knows where to search for the images when he wants to link everything up, right? So that's pretty much how I do it. Now if I go over to my personal SSD, which is I use for my stuff, right, for like DaVinci, I got almost like a similar thing going. I got one for Premiere Pro, but I stopped using that. I got a project folder for DaVinci. I got thumbnail files, all my pictures. OBS capture as I'm talking, it goes into this folder. My renders, I got an auto backup folder, so for whatever reason, like my project file gets corrupted, then I can go in here, and I got like all these backup files, assets, OBS files, so on and so forth, right? So everything is structured in my folder, my SSD, right? So, and another thing is, so if I go into like the DaVinci project file, double click that, I have a folder for each day of the week, right? So that's how I've been like structuring my thing. I got a folder for Sunday streams, for whatever reason. Mondays, I gotta like, when I do my weekend videos, I dump everything here. Tuesday, I got a talk video. If there's something I want to chat about, I take a screenshot of a comment that someone asked me, then, I'll put it here and save it for later. Wednesdays, I started streaming, so this is kind of obsolete. I do tutorials on Thursdays again, so it goes on like that. So this is pretty much how I structure things. Find a structure that works for you. That way, like, you know where to go and where things are at. That way, when something gets out of place or for whatever reason, like one of your files gets unlinked, then you know exactly where to look for it, right? Everything, it saves you a lot of time to have a structure that works for you, right? But also, you want to remember that like organization and structure, it is a form of language in my opinion. So when you start working with someone and you start to like show them how you work, how you organize things, they have an understanding of how you do things, because there's a structure that they can understand and they can pick up, and then you guys can work together, right? So that's why I see things, right? And anyways, yeah, structure, organizing, I'm big on it. I like doing it. It just saves me a lot of time, and it helps me keep my head organized, because start messing with gigabytes of files everywhere, it can be overwhelming. So you want to make sure that you got everything structured in a manner that keeps you head in fucking check, because yeah, it's easy to get lost when you don't have a structure going on. But anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks for the comment and questions, and yeah, feel free to ask me anything. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.